Hello and welcome to ASR Brazilian Grand Prix, the final race on the calendar. I've already won the championship, so I decided to have a bit of fun and start from last. Grunting, well done, ends up getting a 5-place grid penalty. Cutting up to the line, and as you can see I was sorting out my strategy, and hopefully I end up panning round, unless I'm just a complete tool and decide not to. But hopefully, come on, get off your strategy. Ay, I take so long on strategies. Pan round, you idiot. There you go. Stalin ends up starting up behind me as well, because we both were untouchable at that point, and we decided, fuck it, start from the last. And second to last, but Grunting ends up spoiling the show with his stupid grid penalty. Cutting up to the start of the race start, as you can see, Grunting, well done, has managed to get himself invalidated from the lap. Anyway, pulling up, and Mozer ends up leading to get some food, which at that point he hadn't told us about, but he ends up coming back about midway through the race saying, sorry, I was really hungry and I wanted some food. I can't blame him because I was also hungry. Anyway, 4 lights, 5 lights. Come on. There we go. Lights out and away we go. And Stalin just does not move off the line, and I decide to take his advice and not go anywhere. But as you can see, Grunting goes in steaming, ends up hitting Quacker, and I hit him, and Stalin absolutely rams me. Dynamite having a horrible start from the top 3, ends up behind both of us. But this isn't the end of the misery for me, because as you can see it's still hectic, even though most people lost a piece of the front wing. But as you can see, the fucking reserve of Illuminati decides to be a complete cunt and come across. No regard whatsoever, and he ends up spinning Quacker as well. Fucking idiot. Anyway, coming on to the end. As you can see, coming into the pits, utterly annoyed, and as you can see, Quacker ahead of me. And Mercedes, get a boot up your ass with these pit stops, because even BK was remarking. BK was my teammate, and he didn't even have to change to a front wing. Just how slow you guys are. The 3 front jackman I decided to get really accompanied with this race, because I end up crashing multiple times. As you can see, Quacker goes for the hards, which I couldn't do because the game is really stupid. Anyway, cutting on to lap 3, and as you can see I've caught Quacker on quite a bit. DRS zone, he decided to spit up a bit of dirt at me and a bit of tarmac, but anyway I make the move done, and it was all guns blazing. And as you can see, Cart Dude on the mediums has ended up having worse luck than me. Ends up getting it retired in the most ridiculous spot I think I've seen. Anyway, cutting on to the end of lap 7, and Stalin ends up tagging Oliver. He doesn't end up spinning fully, but I don't think that was an intentional move by Stalin. Coming up to lap 8, and as you can see, Stalin and Dynamite are in front of me, and I was not in any mood to battle. And as you can see, Stalin ends up getting a loose run, and I decide, fuck it, go around the outside. Props to Stalin for leaving me room afterwards, and obviously props to me for not spinning him out. As you can see, my tyres are not looking that good, and catching up to Dynamite, they're even worse, 66% at end of lap 8. As you can see, just going past Dynamite in the Red Bull, ends up making it look easy-ish, because as you'll see later on, he ends up just doing the exact same thing to me. Obviously the glory did not last long of being in P13, miracles. As you can see, I hit the grass like a complete retard, and Dynamite makes the move. At that point, my tyres were not looking that fun, and I should have pitted the lap before. But of course, knowing me, I want to stay out as long as I possibly can. Anyway, I try to make a move on Dynamite, but I decide better of it as my tyre ticks over, and unintentionally I end up blocking Stalin, which for Dynamite was a godsend. Because as you can see, I end up holding up so much he ends up losing DRS. Coming into the pits, and I was trying to set the mediums, and as you can see I ended up scrolling too far, because I'm just me. But as you can see, tyres 87%, and at this point I can't help but thinking Mazda 87. I don't know why that's popped into my head, but look at the leisure that these assholes are at. 2.9 is as worse as Malaysia, which I didn't think was possible. But as you can see, in P18 out of 18, it's an abysmal race so far. End up coming out the pits, and obviously nothing changes. End of lap 13, what the fuck? Lap 13, 2 laps later, I end up catching Quacker, and I hit him. Of course, I need Sam's crash counter up in here. It's been ridiculous. You can see the turning just does not help, end up getting on the curb, but I was having none of it behind Quacker. And as you can see, end up getting the move done, as he tries to defend fruitlessly, and I end up getting the move done. And at this point I was really pissed, so as you can see, Silent has just gone into the first corner. That gap is non-existent by the end of by the start of lap 18. Kicks up a bit of dirt, and what the fuck was that? As you can see, getting on the curbing, he does not know how to drive Brazil, and as you can see, make it look easy, even with front wing damage. Come on. End up making the move, getting back on the racing line before anything. Moz, I ended up catching both the Haas brethren, who are in a bit of a teammate battle for the drivers, as well as just Pride. And I was having none of this at this point, because they were both saying me not to overtake, and I went, fuck that. End up going down the inside of Moz, end up colliding with him, and I'm quite sorry about that. As you can see, I end up leaning on him actually to make around the corner, a bit cheekily. As you can see, end of lap 20, and Sam does not get away from the same fate. As you can see, DRS absolutely flying. Moz has lost DRS at this point. As you can see, 66%. End up catching Sam so much in the braking zone, and Sam decides to kick a bit of dirt in my face, which I could not say I appreciated at the time. As you see, headshot up ahead has not given Sam DRS, and I was just like, yep, thank you very much. And hopefully I get a promenation on his channel. If so, thanks Sam. But as you can see later on, end up going past headshot, and let's add another one for the Stingray crash counter. End up spinning that headshot, and Moz ends up pile driving him and ends up retiring him. Sam, I need your counter. Coming up to lap 22, Pure's already made his final pit stop and is out ahead of me. So that's just abysmal. As you can see, lap 80%, like, I was running those tyres to the rims, really. As you can see, both the Haas boys end up passing me. And another pit stop where the Mercedes boys decide to, like, have a wank or something. They just don't move. Yet again, a 9.6 is so bad. And even Oliver Kelly, who span and got a pit, ended up ahead of me. It's so bad. As you can see, Quackers has had a horrible race. He's nowhere near. And as you can see, coming up to the end of lap 28 is finally when I catch Oliver on his mediums. As you see, he locks up so bad, and he's just holding me up. And I was just having none of it at that point. As you can see, I got a better run. He decides to defend the middle. I don't know why, since he saw I was catching up so much. And as you can see, I decide to have none of it, go around his outside. Like, to hell was I waiting. As you can see, we have a bit of a battle. I ended up going on the curbs, and we both ended up panicking away from one another. Make the move done, we ended up having a bit of contact and having the stupid glitch of, like, both of us turning right. Oh no, you're gonna go left. Sorry, lad. Lap 31, as you can see, catching up Expert so fast. Expert had no pace this race. Ended up catching him so fast, as you can see. Like, just proven to what I just said. I've been dragging Oliver and Wayno with me. And as you can see, Expert does nothing in the tank. And look, Expert, a dive bomb! Which it wasn't actually a dive bomb. Expert does not have fun explaining dive bombs. Lap 34, I've ended up closing a 7-second gap to Moz to nothing as I make the overtake. And shit sort of hits the fan here, because as you can see, that's for a point to make it 2. And then Grunting somehow manages to crash there, behind the barrier, so I didn't really see him, so I didn't obviously see him go past. All of a sudden, I'm battling for 4 points, and at lap 36, Stalin is running out of gas, which is something that I do. But as you can see there, Dynamite ends up taking up P6, and I somehow get P7 that race, which for me was fucking ridiculous. And as you can see, as it cuts, we have a bit of an idiocy here. As you can see, Sam, being a bit cocky, hits the wall and doesn't make it to the line. I was applauding him that point, and we were all just fucking having a laugh at him. And he just dropped his controller and went off. But anyway, as we go to the standings, well done to Nib, OP and Maz for picking up the 3 podiums. Well done to BK for picking up a 4th, and well done to Dynamite for getting a really good comeback with me. But as I said before, this is the finale, so I will not be seeing you again for ASR, thank God. See you, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday.